The clock ticks as you stare at that one simple task on your desk. You just spent 8 minutes thinking about something that takes 90 seconds. That's procrastination in action. And it's costing you more than time. It's draining your mental energy. That pile on your desk isn't just clutter, it's an open loop in your mind. Each unfinished task weighs on you, creating a mental load that follows you everywhere. The dishes, the email, the small things you walk past daily. This hesitation isn't just a habit, it's a trap. Every time you delay, you train your brain to avoid. The weight compounds, and before you know it, a 90-second task feels like an 8-minute decision. It's time to break the cycle. Your brain treats every undone task like an open browser tab. Each one silently consumes mental bandwidth, adding invisible weight and low-grade stress to your entire day. This isn't simply clutter. It's cognitive overload hiding in plain sight. But the real cost isn't the stress itself. It's that every hesitation reinforces a pattern. When you repeatedly delay small actions, you're training your brain to freeze, making future tasks feel heavier and harder to start. And here's the hidden truth most people overlook. Motivation doesn't spark action. It works in reverse. Action creates momentum. That momentum is what finally silences those open mental tabs, clearing space for genuine focus and mental freedom. Most people wait to feel inspired before doing anything. They picture a runner at sunrise leaping out of bed with boundless energy. But that's backwards. Action comes before motivation. The runner who actually runs doesn't wait, they start before their mind protests. The 2-minute rule breaks this cycle. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it takes longer, just start for 2 minutes. Your brain resists the transition, not the task itself. That tiny start shifts you from hesitation to motion. Once you start, momentum takes over. The hardest part wasn't the work, it was the start. And when action becomes a habit, you stop waiting. You move before your brain can argue. That's how you retrain your mind to stop hesitating and start doing. Set a 2-minute timer and knock out one small undone task. The ticking clock creates urgency, pushing you to act instead of overthink. That stray email, dirty dish, or clutter vanishes faster than you'd expect, freeing mental space. As you rapidly clean up these tiny tasks, you slip into a flow state. Efficiency snowballs, making the next action feel effortless. Each completed item releases a burst of mental energy, reducing the day's invisible burden. This simple rule transforms hesitation into action. Instead of carrying a mental to-do list, you close loops immediately. The result is a lighter mind and reclaimed time, building momentum for the rest of your day. One delay is never just one delay. It's the first domino that tips into the next. Skip the email and you'll ignore the call. Avoid the call and the whole project stalls. Before you know it, hesitation becomes your default setting. Picture a time lapse of your week. A tiny task you postponed on Monday is still there Friday. Now a snowball of anxiety. Each delay adds another layer of mental noise until your brain is juggling invisible weights instead of doing meaningful work. Hesitation isn't a one-time mistake. It's a snowball rolling downhill. The more you delay, the bigger the avoidance grows. Each small later feeds the habit until starting anything feels impossible. That's how a single ignored dish becomes a messy kitchen and a messy life. Break the cycle with one 2-minute move. Instead of dreading a full workout, just put on your shoes. That's your only goal for the first 2 minutes. Lace them up, step outside, and let momentum take over. Once you're moving, your brain stops resisting. The hardest part is the beginning. Instead of staring at a blank page for hours, just write one sentence. That's your entire goal for 2 minutes. The act of beginning dissolves the fear. Once words appear, your brain shifts from avoidance to engagement, and you'll naturally want to continue. It's that simple. Remember, the goal isn't to complete the task in 2 minutes. The goal is to begin. Once you start, you've already won. Whether you're lacing up shoes or typing a first sentence, that tiny action rewires your brain to expect progress instead of dread. That shift makes all the difference. So next time you hesitate, just start. Think of resistance like a wave. It peaks right before you act. That's the moment you're standing outside the cold shower, dreading the shock. Your brain screams that it's too hard, too unpleasant. But that's the crest of the wave. Once you step in, the resistance crashes. The door is the same. Before you walk through the door to start a run or a task, hesitation builds. But the instant you cross that threshold, resistance drops by about 80%. Your brain stops fighting because you're already in motion. But you might think 2 minutes is nothing. That's the trap. 2 minutes isn't about finishing. It's about getting past the wave. Reframe it. You're not starting a task. You're just crossing the peak. Once you do, momentum takes over. The Zeigarnik effect explains why unfinished tasks nag at you. Each one is an open loop in your mind, creating a subtle but persistent tension that drains your mental energy throughout the day. You can't fully concentrate because part of your brain is still holding on to that undone email or unwashed dish. When you finally complete the task, the loop closes and your brain releases the tension. You feel that instant lightness because your mind no longer needs to keep track of it. This is why even tiny completed tasks can feel so satisfying. They provide a real mental release. Imagine all your unfinished tasks as an ocean of open loops, each one a wave of tension pulling at your attention. The 2-minute rule lets you close these loops quickly, turning a chaotic sea into calm waters. Start small, release the tension, and clear your mind. You stare at the blank page or the messy room, and the voice says, 2 minutes won't touch this. So you walk away, and the task grows heavier. That's the trap. Believing the proof of one failed start is the end. The struggle becomes a storm in your mind, turning small tasks into mountains. Each time you avoid, the story that you can't handle it gets stronger. 2 minutes could have calmed that storm, but you never gave it a chance again. Trying once and quitting isn't testing the rule. It's proving your hesitation right. To break the cycle, you need more than willpower. You need environmental triggers that bypass the internal debate entirely and make starting automatic. That's what we'll explore next. Remember, building the habit of action is a journey, not a one-time fix. Each time you move forward, even for 2 minutes, you strengthen the neural pathway. The goal isn't completing the task. It's proving you can begin. Over time, these small starts rewrite your self-image from hesitant to proactive. Your goal shifts from waiting for motivation to taking action regardless of feeling. Every 2-minute start is a step on the path toward automatic behavior. You're not aiming to finish, you're training the muscle of moving forward. This is how genuine change happens. One small, imperfect start after another. Keep pushing forward along this journey, and hesitation loses its grip. Each time you act before you're ready, you collect evidence that starting is safe. The path becomes clearer, And soon, taking that first step feels less like a battle and more like a reflex.